You know who I miss? And like we're live, but we'll talk about it as the show, or maybe we won't. But I miss Ethan Page. I do.
Who doesn't?
I miss his face.
Yeah, where is he? Where'd he go?
Made such a big deal about his custom trunks that he was going to wear, his new gear, and we just haven't seen it in so long.
He's a champ now on his promotion, I believe, on one of the other promotions. I have to take this heel marks off because it blocks my beautiful face. Yeah, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, fans and friends, we are back once again. I am the custodian of charisma and the ophthalmologist of optimism. She is the sultan of sarcasm and the sorceress of sass. I am the ghost. She's the host. I am Brady. She is Danielle. Together we are the best friends in all the land. We are the heel marks, and this is Mark of Honor, the go-to for after Ring of Honor ends, the best Ring of Honor post show in the business. I'm sorry, guys. We were trying to play Shirakawa's theme song. I could have sworn that was it.
It sounded like it.
Her entrance was so badass. And then I'm like, are they playing like Danza Kudera? Like, is that what's happening right now? So,
I love that.
That entire entrance popped me, and I had to like come up with that video real quick.
I love it.
I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's edition of Ring of Honor. I know I did. We're gonna find out if Danielle did. We had a night that was dominated by the ladies.
I know. All I kept thinking is, I can't wait. I was like, women's matches, all these women's matches. I was so excited.
Yeah, we had, I believe, 4 women's matches, including the main event, and only had two matches that included the men. So yeah, this is one of the few times where the men are getting outnumbered on that front. And since we are getting closer to the finals of the TV tournament, it was good that they didn't decide to make us wait till next week to find out who was going to win the second semis. They gave us both tonight. I was surprised they did them back to back. I kind of figured one of them might main event, but I didn't mind it only because they allowed us to get a few different backstage promos where the matchup was already known.
Right.
And so had they waited till the end of the night, they couldn't really do that. Let's get into what the opener was of the women's TV title tournament. Billie Starkz advances, defeating Mercedes Martinez. Now, in the past, I think it's important to note that in these tournament matches, in particular, Billie Starkz has kind of come off as more vicious. She's been winning, I don't want to say dominant, but she's been winning with like submission victories. So it's, I think when someone taps out, it is a little bit more dominant than a pinfall. However, in this match, we do see a roll-up victory. We see Mercedes Martinez still on her feet as Billie is celebrating, kind of letting me know that this wasn't a matter of, Billie didn't get the big win because she's just absolutely the best woman. She was the better woman today. This could have gone either way.
Right. I also think...
I'm sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was just saying, like, it's a big deal because I know when we talked in the beginning of the tournament, you even mentioned Mercedes might be the big bad that people have to defeat because she's been a women's champion before, stuff like that. So for Billie, who is so new, and we got to see her main event against Athena, and Athena's been you know, wanting her to succeed. And she's been wanting to prove to everyone that she's the best and that she's going to win this title. The perfect person for her to go up against was Mercedes Martinez, because it shows that she is ready to be champ if she becomes champ, and she's ready to be the finalist against Queen Aminata for the title.
Right. Definitely sets Billy apart as we go to the finals.
Definitely.
And what I also think it does, I think it protects Mercedes going
100%.
into the post-championship. We've already seen, and we'll talk about it, but we've seen people begin to lay claim to the new #1 contendership for the TV championship before we even have a champion. People are calling out the future champion, and I think Mercedes Martinez, you know, by this being so close and it looking like it could have gone either way, Mercedes has just as much of a claim.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about, as you said, Queen Aminata did defeat Red Velvet, getting to the finals. Your pick is headed to the finals.
My pick is still my pick. I'm not. Yeah. I mean,
well, thanks to me, I saved you. You almost
thanks to you. But I will say, I love Red Velvet, but I was a little surprised that she was the fourth person. Like, she was one of the last. Like,
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No,
I thought it was going to be Layla Hirsch or Taya. Taya Valkyrie was a big one that I thought was going to be.
Well, I was surprised that Taya didn't get there because I had Taya to win the whole thing. But they're involving Taya more in the Johnny and Dalton thing, so I get that. Yeah. And then with Red Velvet, like as soon as the tournament began, I kind of had Red Velvet picked as somebody to watch, a dark horse, if you will. So because her push seems like it's been coming and long overdue for so long at this point, it seems like in ROH specifically, that's the place where she's going to shine, where they're going to be like, okay, let's do something with her because she can do this, that, and the other. So I wasn't surprised to see her fourth. I was a little surprised. We got some good chain wrestling in this match, which is rare to see it was rare to see in the tournament, rare to see on ROH period, which is kind of surprising considering the Wrestling Strong show. But yeah, for some reason, like their chain wrestling stuck out to me as, oh, I haven't seen this in a while. Okay.
Was that you I was with at a live event where the guys behind us kept talking about the chain event, chain wrestling? Yeah. That was you, right?
Yes.
I knew it was with you. Because as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, chain wrestling. And I was like, oh, those guys at the bachelor party that were just like, this is chain wrestling. And they were so excited that it was I was like, is this the only term of wrestling you know that you think it's chain wrestling?
No, they came here really wanting to watch chain wrestling. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, these drunken buffoons, chain wrestling. Yep. It was definitely,
In this case, I do think it helped the match stand out a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You know what caught me by surprise, and I know this is such a stupid thing? Queen Aminata's outfit. Like, I was surprised it was like the purple and the pink. Like she's been doing such darker colors and stuff. Like, it took me.
Commentary mentioned that I believe her colors were a nod or a tribute to the holiday of Ramadan.
Oh.
To the holiday of Ramadan, which I believe she is observing. So I mean, if you're, I believe so. I mean, that's what Caprice that's what Caprice mentioned. I think that was another
that makes sense
for
then
her color
too,
choice. Yeah,
that makes sense then. Yeah. Oh yeah, but I was taken back because usually she has like the darker colors or like like definitely different.
Actually, I don't know about darker, but we've been seeing her wearing gold in the past, and she'll talk about how I know the title isn't gold, but I look good in gold.
Right. So the pink and purple kind of took me off. I liked it. It just took me by surprise. I know that's a stupid thing to comment on, but it just took me by surprise that she had that.
No, I get you.
Had those colors, yeah.
And so now we do look towards Queen versus Billy. And this is going to be a tough one. I don't think we should get it too into that only because we will do our predictions for Supercard of Honor probably next week. Because we'll be 1 week away, or depending on what maybe.
Can you believe it's almost here? It's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, feel like it's always so far away and then it's here.
So far away.
Doesn't anybody stay in one place?
I mean, I think you felt that way because they kind of told us about this. I feel like almost like as soon as like the new year happened, I feel like it was.
Like they were like, "Oh, Supercard."
It was Supercard of Honor, yeah.
And also because we've been watching ROH so much more frequently now, I think it's more in our face.
Right.
So we're just like, oh, Supercard's coming, Supercard's coming, Supercard's coming.
Right. First off, real quick, thank you to everybody who's tuning in live. We
Thank
see
you.
you. We want to hear you. So go ahead, join the conversation, chat away in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit those like buttons and head to slamchats.com to donate to the BodySlam.net network. All donations are appreciated to help support the pod work. Speaking of that TV title tournament and the TV title match, what I did love is that Kiera Hogan, who, you know, she lost, I believe, first round of this tournament, but here she is saying, listen, I got a big win, didn't I, last week? I beat 3 people, didn't I, last week? Okay, so I'm coming for the TV champion. I don't care who it is. And I enjoy that because that's the way it should be. All champions should be getting called out. I wish it was happening more often. I wish Ethan Page was still calling out Kyle Fletcher. I wish anybody would call out Eddie Kingston instead of him just patiently getting, you know, just being able to take his time and call out whoever he wants whenever he feels like it.
Right.
And while Athena was complaining about it last week, I would like to see people call her out as well. However, I get it. We don't have a TV champion yet, and so this seems like a good way to skip the line, right? You didn't make it far in the tournament, but if I can pick up a good big win and then call out the next champ, I can do that. Diamante later in the night said she defended Mercedes Martinez, saying that loss was a fluke. Then she also said, Kiera, if you think you're skipping the line, it's behind me and Diamante. Me and Mercedes are both first in line. So Kiera versus Diamante has been announced for next week. I'm kind of wondering, have they unofficially made this a #1 contenders match by both calling out the future champ?
I mean, probably. I love everything about this. I think this is fantastic. I did love Kiera when she said, if I don't see you later, I'll see you at home. And I was like, oh no. I was like, you're going to be having beef the whole time. Period.
That's on period.
I love that. I love Kiera Hogan so much. And Diamante.
And listen, this is another case of ROH listening to us, because Kiera Hogan has been someone where we've been saying for a while, we love seeing her, you know, work in the ring, but she's got personality. She can go on the stick. So let her give her backstage in the ring. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they just do one of those, like a vignette, but just showcase her personality so people can get attached to that character and root for her and want to see her face the champion.
Well, that's what we've been saying too. Like you said, they're kind of listening to us. We're like, we don't like watching matches that just are there. It's like, oh, this person and this person are against each other. But why? Why are they here? They're calling out and having a meaningful match, and hopefully it will lead to #1 contendership. And even if it doesn't, at least you're calling out someone to set up a match for the following week. It's not just them just finding 2 people and putting them together.
And once again, it's also a case of, and I wish this wasn't the case, but let's be honest, ROH is the 4th AEW show of the week. That's what it is. And so the better you do in ROH, the more time they give you and the more you use that time to maximize your minutes and impress the people backstage and the people watching at home, the better chance you are of being used more properly by the company, AEW as a whole. So as much as I'd love to see Kiera Hogan get a steady story for the next 6 months, be built up to be champion on ROH because ROH means something, at this point, I just want to see Kiera Hogan get some shine. Yeah, I don't care 100%. If it's on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Thursdays. I don't care. So so just being able to see a wrestler I'm a fan of, or even a wrestler I don't know well enough to be a fan of, get some more time to get some attention. That's what I want to see from Ring of Honor on a weekly basis.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
Speaking of getting their shine on, the shine continues for Big Shotty Lee Johnson. But before we talk about Shotty Lee, let's talk about London Lightning.
We've seen London Lightning. We've seen him wrestle. We saw him at oh god, I just went blank on the show. Because as he came on, I was like, we've seen him. No, it wasn't AC. It was, remember that BCW show where everything kept falling apart?
Oh god, yeah.
Do you remember that? He was at that show. But I don't think he went by Lightning. I think it was something else. But we've seen him because as soon as I saw him, I remembered him. And I was like, oh my God, he was at that show where everything kept falling apart and like people kept, like everything kept getting messed up. And I remember liking him a lot, but we've definitely seen him. I thought he was great.
Well, the only other name he's gone by is Jim Bro. I feel like I would have remembered Jim, bro.
Maybe, I don't know, but we have seen him. I remember seeing him. But yeah, he was very impressive. I really liked him a lot. I thought he was really funny. I love that, like we always say, and how we always say, you need to maximize your minutes. He was maximizing his minutes. He was getting over as just, character-wise, even when he wasn't wrestling. He was like doing stuff to keep you entertained.
He is a Canadian local. This was in Canada, so
Yeah.
he was over from the start. Another opportunity for them to have given him an entrance, let him hear the pop, let us hear the pop, and allow him to stand out more. Luckily, the crowd did him justice. The crowd was behind him from the start.
I will say this. It's not him. It's not him. It's me. When you have someone like London Lightning going against Lee Johnson, I obviously know Lee Johnson is going to win because that's the story they're telling right now. I would like to see where there are times where I feel like Lee isn't going to win. Like when Matt Sydal came out, I was like, why didn't they put Lee Johnson against Matt Sydal? Like, have that be a match. I understand locals and your debut and getting them shine, and I understand that. But, like, make me have a match with Matt Sydal and Lee Johnson where, like, maybe Matt Sydal could win, but ultimately it will be Lee Johnson winning. That's how I felt.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. You're essentially saying you would rather not see the proverbial squash match. And not that these were squashes, but if you're
correct,
the jobber match, yeah.
Yeah, correct. Like, I knew, like, did you, like, when you write your notes, you immediately put Lee Johnson defeats London Lightning. Like, there's no way,
Right.
I mean,
with that said, but once again, I get what you're saying because you don't know London Lightning. He's a local talent, so off the cuff. But and this goes back to the main complaint. I hate repeating myself, but I feel so strongly.
You love repeating yourself.
This is something so small that they could do. It makes such an impact. Give the fucking guy an entrance. Because if he got an entrance, Danielle, you wouldn't immediately be writing him off. Same goes for TJ Crawford when he faced Matt Sydal later. Like, if these guys got music and we saw the angles and the lighting and they came down and whether they flipped the fans off or they gave high fives to the people who know their fucking name, like, we're now being like, okay, who's this guy? They come across as a new superstar to the company. You know what I mean? It just makes all the difference in the world.
Like you said, with the entrance, you can mention that they're a local, and like that's an important thing, right? Because when Lee Johnson was in Atlanta, they said he's from that. This is him home, right? Jesus, his hometown and stuff like that. That it's okay to have an entrance for London Lightning because maybe we're like, oh, this is a new ROH guy. Maybe it's not just someone coming in because they're a hometown local. Like, oh, he is from here, but now he's debuting at Ring of Honor, and maybe they're gonna keep him. So it's a very weird thing, and I understand what they're doing with Lee Johnson. I just wish there was. I felt there was more at stake instead of just seeing a jobber match.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing with entrances. They kind of are the main difference between who is a jobber and who is a wrestler that should be taken seriously.
Especially when they're cutting down the show. Like, the show is not 2 hours anymore. So, like,
but also especially like the crowd was so loud for London Lightning.
Yeah.
To the point where like as a match, they were able to play with that and make the match more exciting than it would have been. Because all of a sudden now we did have who was our distinctive hero, and Shida was able to kind of toy with that and give him hope and then take it away and look at the crowd and say, you thought he was gonna beat me. So like they were able to kind of make certain tweaks. And I've been saying for a while now, I think a heel Shida would work. And tonight we got more of that than we ever had before. We got nice little preview of what a heel Shida would look like.
Right. And I feel like the way ROH is built, when you have an entrance, and I know this is us saying it 100 times, but when you have an entrance, it could be one of those moments where I could text you and be like, Brady, have we seen London Lightning before? Like, is he on the ROH roster? Did we just have, because ROH is very flaky with their lineup. Like, it's never really that consistent except this tournament recently and Lee Johnson. So it could be, hey, Brady, is this, have we seen him before? Because he has a entrance, and we can be like, oh, is this someone that I'm supposed to be looking at and being aware of? Because, and it's just.
And listen, it's like, so, when Matt Sydal took on TJ Crawford, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, Matt Sydal is a babyface. So maybe they don't openly want TJ Crawford to get that babyface pop. Maybe they wanted him to play a little more heelish than he did. Maybe that was it. But in the case of Shida Lee Johnson versus London Lightning, and once again, I know Shida Lee is a babyface, but he was very willing, did not hesitate to go ahead and allow the fans to change him for that match. He played heel pretty much like the last 3/4 of that match. As soon as he realized the fans were chanting lightning, lightning,
That's
like
wild.
he flipped. Yeah. And it was great for him. And it was perfect that he went along with that. But once again, this could have been a big night for London Lightning, where even with him losing, you could have really like made a star. Like to me, I want to see more London Lightning. And I hope Ring of Honor reaches out and gets him back for some more stuff. I guess really our issue is that we wish when someone got a match on Ring of Honor, they were already kind of someone that Ring of Honor wanted to work with or enjoyed.
Yeah, not just, you're a local. Yeah.
Instead of like, you knew back in the day, it used to be dark matches. That was how people had their like proverbial tryouts. Correct. It almost feels like now you get thrown on television with the Ring of Honor. And that's the first time that a lot of the people backstage might be looking at you to see if they want to work with you anymore.
Well, what's weird about
we kind of wish they were a little more committed to them already.
Right. And what's weird about that too is if they are a local, like someone people know, people are going to cheer really loud for them anyway. So you don't really get the actual feel unless you establish it a different way. Like you can always establish some of it from your hometown, but most of the time people are going to cheer for the hometown person. If anybody we know was like wrestling, like Mike Werner, if he showed up, that's the first, like we would pop. Like, of course you would, because he's a hometown guy. So, I know we say this blue in the face about entrances. Maybe they'll listen.
And once again, it's like also like tonight's show was a clean hour and 9 minutes. It went from 7 to 8:09, which is fine. But what's the rush? You could easily add 10 minutes to your show. Give me a few entrances, and then of course other things that we would like that we talk about every week. But basically they got the time for this, and I just think it would add to everyone would benefit. There'd be no 100%. Losers in that situation, because once again, we're all tuning into a live program on a streaming network that we pay for. So you don't have to worry about me switching the channel. I'm tuning in every Thursday at 7:00 because this is what I paid for. This is what I'm here to see. But
agreed. Sometimes
you don't get what you pay for. Sometimes you're left wondering, where are the boys?
They're on top of a mountain.
No, they were on top of a mountain, but then there was a big bear on that mountain, and now we don't know where the boys are.
You don't even know what their favorite food is. It's tots.
Listen, this was fucking hilarious, by the way. Another brilliant case of Dalton, Lexi, Taya, and Johnny.
Lexi, man, the star of this always.
I love how Lexi also, like, there's different Lexis. Like there's the Lexi who's tired of babysitting Dalton, but also cares way too much to leave him alone. Then there's the Lexi that's just, doing her job, getting the interviews and just wanting to give everyone their time to talk. And then there's the Lexi who is going crazy, marking out with Athena and Billy and just, oh my God, did you see we won our match? We gonna do it?
Yeah. Imagine Lexi costs Billy the title.
Oh my God, that'd be horrible. I don't want to see a heel Lexi. I like this Lexi. Lexi's great.
Maybe she did by accident. Maybe Dalton is the one who cost her the title, and Lexi is trying to get Dalton away from her.
I'll tell you this much. I hope Tony knows what he has in Lexi.
She's the best. Because every time I see her, I get excited.
But it's one of those things where, like, she's so good that the fact that they only use her on ROH kind of makes me think he doesn't know what he has.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So, and it's to the point where, like, I don't know what her contract situation is. I would hope somebody in WWE keeps tabs on ROH and talent they have, because she's a big get. Like, she's
100%. So good.
But onto the status of the boys. Apparently the boys have been acting up. They've been peeing on couch cushions, and you can't have that.
Where could they be?
I mean, at first it was so funny
Believe
because,
it
and
or
like, this
not,
is where I
it's
don't
just
know.
tea.
I don't know if this is a story they're telling us or if this is just improv that they don't edit. But it's like, because at first they're telling us like the boys are acting up, they're peeing on house cushions, we can't deal with them, and then Dalton is pressing them. Dalton's like, you're lying, and they're like, listen, we lost them. We lost the boys. And the mountain comes into play, the bears, Lexi's telling him he's gonna be fine. He says no, it's not gonna be fine. Dalton is boyless now.
The boys are gonna find their way to R-Truth. They're gonna show up on all these different shows in the background, and then they're gonna end up being R-Truth's boys. And he's gonna be like, oh, it's Nikki and what does he call Dominic? Nikki and what?
Tom and Nick.
Tom and Nick. He's gonna find the boys and name them Tom and Nick. That's it. This is what's happening. I wrote it.
So, like, once again, this is a case where I'm curious, not really knowing what's going to happen here. Last week, I thought that maybe one of my earlier predictions of the fact of the boys getting a makeover and becoming TV ready, I thought they might do that because that's what Taya told us was happening.
Right.
She made it sound like it was a happy home. The boys were with their dad on mountains doing man things. Johnny now tells us that, yeah, he was doing man things with the boys, but they got out of line. There was a bear, and I never saw him again.
That sounds awful.
Are they hiding the boys? Is this somehow a sick way of writing the boys off? I don't.
That they got eaten by a bear?
Believe that. I mean, I don't know. They're missing on a mountain at the very least.
This is some bullshit. I don't like it.
I mean, listen, all I'm saying is last week it seemed Dalton was just as determined as ever.
Right.
Determined Dalton to find his boys. However, at the end of this segment, it seemed like he was accepting the fact that he was boyless. It seemed like, it seemed like he was walking away thinking his boys were gone. He was never going to get them back. Yeah, I have these boys, but they don't count. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So it didn't seem like he was determined to find him anymore. I don't know where we go from here. I'm kind of a little let down that we didn't get to see a TV-ready version of the boys, even if it was just for like one day, and then they turn on Johnny and join back with Dalton.
Maybe it will be for Supercard. I have hope for Supercard. I'm going to have hope that something happens at Supercard.
I mean, what's weird is they're not even like setting up a match with these two anymore. Dalton doesn't want to fight Johnny anymore. Like that's gone because they already fought and this happened. And the boys are now no longer under Johnny's watch or care. Who, like, it doesn't even seem like, because wasn't it Johnny wanted the boys? Now Johnny lost the boys, and he doesn't seem to be looking for them. There is no milk. Do people still put people on milk cartons?
I don't think they do that anymore.
Well, then how do they find their missing relatives?
They put posters up, no? There's
like
social
a poster
media
is better than a milk carton? Everyone has milk in their fridge.
There's social media. But then you have to figure out what milk you're putting. I mean, a lot of people drink almond milk now or oat milk.
You put them on all the milks.
All the milks?
Every single one of them. You put them on creamer.
Creamer. That's where I would notice because I drink a lot of creamer.
I have recently become hooked on a caramel creamer. Can't be very good for me, but it's delicious.
I do French vanilla or I do the almond one. That's vanilla. It tastes like a marshmallow. It's delicious.
Sounds like a marshmallow. I saw a Snickers creamer, but I was like, that's too dangerous. Can't do it.
Maybe that's what happened. They went to have milk, and then Johnny and Taya realized that they were lactose intolerant, and they're very sick now. So they're hiding them because they don't want Dalton to know that they're sick.
They don't want Dalton to know. Dalton was saying you're responsible for them.
Yeah.
I think Johnny.
Are you getting them their oat milk?
No, but I think Johnny misheard him. And then Johnny struck back with, you're irresponsible. But maybe that was a deflection because in reality, he was the irresponsible one, not keeping track of a nut allergy.
Yeah. Or I don't know about nut allergy, but I'm thinking lactose intolerantism. He gave them too much cheese.
I've got friends that are lactose intolerant, and all it does is they fucking stink up your house. I don't think Johnny's
It hurts
fucking...
your belly. I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah, it hurts your belly because you're farting all over the place.
There's literally a meme that says lactose intolerant people are the least concerned about their condition.
Yo, legit.
Really, we don't care.
Bro, my boy Grizzly would come over and he would say, he would come into my kitchen and just, we eat food, drink, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But then he would always ask me, he's like, can I please have some ice cream? Like he was asking permission. And I would never understand. I'm like, bro, fine, bro, help yourself. I'm not going to make it for you. Take it for... But then I always remembered he was actually acting, hey, bro, do you mind if I fucking fart, just...
It's not, it just it hurts your belly.
It didn't hurt his belly. It hurt my fucking nose. He would just sit there laughing his ass off. Stinking the whole place up while we tried to enjoy Teen Wolf.
Ice cream's delicious. The poor boys. I hope they do something with them. I hope this isn't their way of writing them off, though. I'm gonna be very upset because I really like the boys, and the boys are very talented.
They're really
good.
are.
They're good in the ring.
I don't think that's actually what they're doing. I hope that next week we get something like some sort of super card for honor, promise, or tease, and that's what's so weird about this whole we lost them twist. And it's probably just Johnny lying, right? But it almost feel like Johnny would want to present them as TV ready at Super Card of Honor. And that would have been what they could promote. That would be what they tease. But now it's just kind of, skits happening. And I'm kind of like, when's the payoff happening? What's going on?
Maybe they'll bring their dogs out and say that they turn the boys into their dogs.
I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, we've seen crazier things in wrestling.
It was just a suggestion.
That was a suggestion?
No.
I was just thinking like a weird guess. Don't suggest that.
Okay.
But we did get Hikaru Shida taking on Rachel Ellering. And there was no Layla Hirsch by Ellering's side. We did, however, have our Ring of Honor Women's Champion getting a closer look, eventually kind of becoming Rachel's cheerleader at some point, really wanting Shida to get a loss here ahead of their Super Card of Honor match. I like Athena scoping out competition. I would like this to happen more often. Like if any two women that could be on her level or could be contenders are facing each other, I'd like just bring out the champ.
Oh yeah, I'm loving this. I like this a lot. I think it's really good to show the champ. You don't necessarily have to have the champ constantly in matches, but I definitely like this. I like that she's like, make sure you beat her down because she knows Shida is a competition, right. And she wants
Shida to get weakened, yeah,
to make her weak. It's like when Bane had all the other villains fighting Batman until Batman was so broken that it was so easy for him to break his back. Because he went through all the other villains, and then it was easy for Bane to take Batman down.
Right.
Yes, I just compared Shida to Batman.
I like it. I love that they're putting Shida over. Like they're really on commentary, really driving home what a big deal
she's fucking good. She's so good. Her taunts, her interaction with the crowd, her interaction with Athena, everything about her is solid. Is money. Yeah, I love it.
And even we were talking about Athena, Billy, and Lexi backstage, and Lexi was kind of marking out over Shida, like talking about what a big deal she was, and I can't believe you're gonna be wrestling her. It's gonna be so funny. And then Athena's kind of like, oh. What you think just because she beat me in the past? And then Lexi's like, wait, she beat you? What? Holy shit. Like that dynamic is interesting to keep our eyes on because Athena's kind of losing it. And are we seeing the minions crack? I don't even think so. I think that's just kind of how the minions are. But right now we're seeing Athena crack. We're seeing Athena like she does not even doing anything. Her presence alone is getting inside the champion's head.
She's worried and, she wants to make sure that she's not having any competition. She doesn't want to lose her statue as champ.
Speaking of statue, she's approaching 50 straight wins.
Which you said she's approaching 50, and I was like, Athena's 50? Is it 50 straight wins?
That's what they're saying. She's approaching 50 straight wins.
Wow.
Commentary mentioned that she was getting closer to it. She mentioned that she's at 40 plus wins. I don't know the exact number. I kind of put her at like 47 in a row. But it's so funny. We're making such a big deal about big Shida Lee Johnson getting 7, 8 wins in a row. Athena's over here hitting almost 50. like at this point, I would make Shadi wait till like a 50. Like you need double digits for us to start talking about his winning streak.
I want Athena to come out and be like 7, ha, to his face.
Yeah, that would be a funny backstage thing. Lee Johnson's bragging about his 9th win in a row, and Athena just comes over and poo-poos
You're
all
just like,
over.
oh, okay, cool, bro. I like your 7. Cool.
I remember my first time winning 7 in a row.
Yeah, that was just last week. Now I'm up to 50.
The only thing I will say about this, this was a great match, and I liked how Rachel she looked good. She looked like she was taking it to her. The problem was, and this is one of the rare times where I think commentary takes away from a wrestler as opposed to adding. What they were doing was basically whenever Rachel was on top and possibly getting a win here, they were kind of attributing it to Athena being in Shida's head and talking about how the champion watching her and being at ringside was taking her out of her psyche and like making it like she wasn't at 100%. And to me, you could just talk about the fact that maybe she's thinking about her championship match and is not thinking about her current opponent. Maybe she's looking past Rachel Ellering and she shouldn't. And you could do that. And then you're kind of still getting the same point across that Athena's in Shida's head, but you're not really taking it away from Rachel. In this case, they kind of acted like the fact that Rachel was being this dominant at points in the match alone was a sign that Shida wasn't bringing it her all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I don't like sometimes when they talk down. I know what they mean, but sometimes it can be hurtful for trying to showcase a wrestler.
Right. Exactly. Speaking of showcase, I mean, let's talk about that main event. Mina Shirakawa versus Anna Jay.
Big pop. No, not only for her entrance music. See, entrance music matters. But I was like, oh, well, yeah, Stardom up in here.
It's Danza Cordero.
Yeah, I was like, Stardom up in here. I was excited for this match. I was excited to see Anna Jay.
Yeah. No, I was excited to see Anna Jay get a main event. Which is she's another one where she's never really gotten a push like the most I can think of is when she was with Jericho Appreciation Society, like when they were first like forming and rocking and rolling, and she was just getting TV time, but that never really got her anywhere in the women's division at all. She's had big matches, but never really anything that actually took her to the next level or led anywhere. So at this point, like just seeing her get a Ring of Honor main event was a big deal. Yeah. In fact, most of the people in our Instagram live chat at the poll, they thought Anna Jay was walking away with this one. They were, of course, incorrect.
They were.
Well, no. I mean, yeah, no. I mean,
right?
Because
they probably not familiar with Mina, to be honest.
Yeah. But once again, with that entrance, the second you see it and you feel the reaction and you see the big entrance she gets and the music and how she's coming out and she's dancing and she's shaking and she's moving, she's got everyone into it, you're kind of already like, even if you didn't know who she was, you would immediately be like, okay, whoa, who is this? Like, legit, Mina is a star. Like this entrance, the match, the victory, the fact that Anna and her not like they kind of bow to each other afterwards, showing respect. Like she is an absolute star. This was a great showcase match for her, and I love that the crowd was as into her as we were.
I love that the crowd was so into this match. That's what I always get worried about sometimes, especially with ROH, as we've discussed. It's filmed after AEW shows, so you get a little bit worried. The crowds are, I have to say, the last couple of weeks that we've been watching this, they've been really into the matches and really into the locals. And it's fun to watch when there's not just silence and even though we're aware that it's after a bunch of shows, that it still doesn't take away from anything. And that's what I really like about ROH the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. I'm curious as to, you know, if she's going to be sticking around. They were kind of selling this as her debut, not really just kind of like a special appearance. I believe this was Anna Jay's ROH debut as well. I
Yeah, I
would
think that's
not
what
mind seeing both these women
Yeah.
back on the show. Like I said, Shirakawa is a fucking star, just gold stars all day. I know that they're working with Stardom more, but once again, like I don't know how that works
Love
in
Stardom.
terms of them, like in terms of them being able to, you know, be here for like the next 2 months, or if they kind of just have Stardom talent come in to do a show and then go,
Hey,
so like I can't.
Stardom talent going against the women's champ or the women's TV champ when she gets, you know, crowned, like that'll be fun. Those will be fun little matches. I'm a big fan of open challenges. Have an open challenge and just every week have someone come out to face them. Like I'm all about that. And
Yeah.
like once in a blue, have a surprise of someone from Stardom, someone from anywhere. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Athena has, what do they call them? The proving ground matches.
Oh yeah, I like who'd she
where-
wrestle? Yeah, there was one she wrestled. I think it was last week. That was really good. Yeah, I like the proving ground matches a lot.
Where all you're gonna do is last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She faced Aisha last week.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Rose, yeah.
So good. Yeah. I really like those matches a lot. Yeah, that open challenge, like I'm all for matches like that because it gets to showcase wrestlers, and
probably wouldn't. That's probably the main reason they're not doing that, actually, because you wouldn't want a Stardom talent to get a W just because they lasted 10 minutes with the champ.
Fair, but I mean more like an open challenge, like, you know.
No, I get what you're saying. And I'd like to see that too. Speaking of open challenge, though, does it count as an open challenge if Eddie Kingston picks who he wants? Probably not. It's not an open challenge. I guess that's just a challenge. But once again, he did challenge Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe has accepted. And we got an Eddie Kingston backstage promo where he talks about this past Wednesday where he did lose the Continental Championship to who?
Okada!
Right.
Wearing shorts. Okada was wearing his tights. You know, I love it when he wears his tights.
Showing those creamy calves.
Oh, man, do I love it.
Those thighs.
I was thinking, imagine Eddie Kingston was like, I choose you, Mark Briscoe. And he's like, nah, it's okay.
It's like, bro, you haven't been on Ring of Honor in 2 months. You show up and challenge me? Nah, bro. Pick someone else.
Bro. I got something better to do. My bad. No, thank you. No. I have to say, Eddie Kingston, to me, sometimes he says things and he comes off a little corny, but I appreciate it because Eddie Kingston is so New York. Like, Eddie Kingston is like someone like that hangs out on the corner at the bodega store that always asks if you have $1. Like, he's so New York. Like, every time he talks, I'm like, you sound like people I grew up with. Like, I just have to get behind him because I love everything he always says. I love all his stuff, but he's so New York. Like, so Yonkers New York. Like, he's so New York.
Yeah. 100%.
And I have to be behind him. I have to. It's like I have to because he's so New York. And it's like people that don't know people from New York, and if they listen to Eddie Kingston, he's so
right.
You know, you remember the Anna Jay thing. Everybody sweats her. I'm like, yo, tell me you're from New York without telling me you're from New York, because that Eddie Kingston is the epitome of that. Eddie Kingston guaranteed was wearing
Anna Jay. That was Alley Cat.
Yeah. Oh, Alley. No, not Alley Cat. It was Alley Bunny, right?
Yeah, whatever. She
whatever.
knocked her pumpkin cookies right out of her hand.
I confused them. My bad. But yeah, I was just like, this man is wearing Tim's right now. Like, I'm all for Eddie Kingston. But yeah, I guess, yeah, we saw him lose. Poor guy. He's just gonna drop all of them now.
I mean, I don't know if it's it might be poor Eddie, but I don't know if it's poor us, because maybe the fact that he finally lost his Continental Championship means that now he would actually come back to Ring of Honor, being Ring of Honor champion. I mean, we've seen him 2 weeks in a row. He didn't have matches. We didn't see him in the arena or anything, but we've seen him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I'd prefer to see him not even wrestle, do a segment, cut a promo in the middle of the ring. Like, can I see you in person? You just get to hang out in the friggin' locker room and do promos? I was like, what a life you lead.
I would love an in-ring Eddie Kingston promo.
Of course. We said this. Remember when they did it with Evolve and you're like, oh my God, they're giving Eddie Kingston a mic on live television. Like,
that was on the WWE network. That was crazy.
WWE, we're like, oh my God, they're giving him a live mic. Like, what?
Like the network has Eddie Kingston on TV. They have no idea what he's going to say, and they're letting him do it.
Yo, he just goes, man. He just goes, and it's so fantastic. I love everything about Eddie Kingston. I used to not be for him, but now I'm for him.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I wasn't Eddie Kingston girl. No. But that man's wearing a bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
It's funny. Eddie Kingston's always like, I've always gotten him, but his promos really is what like got me to Eddie Kingston. And like, this is another one. I truly think they can put him in any situation. Doesn't matter how bad what they write makes him look. He'll be able to make it look good if you just let him talk about it. You remember that thing with Moxley was on top of him, and it was supposed to be this epic explosion, and instead it was like firecrackers.
Oh yeah, it's so funny you say that. They came up on my memories the other day.
Kingston was on top of him, and then he was like passed out from it, type of shit.
It's so funny you say that. It came up on my memories the other day because it happened at a pay-per-view, and it was what's his face? It was Christian going like this, saying, "Where's the explosions?" Because it was supposed to be this big elaborate explosion thing, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Absolutely. I mean, but then when they let him talk about it, it worked.
Yeah, because then he fixed it. Because he knows what to do. He's genius. He's absolutely genius when it comes to this stuff. Like,
and
he
so,
just
like, here, this is another situation where, like, I think not everyone, if you lose a championship, but you were still another champion, would you be able to kind of be able to explain yourself or kind of make that make sense? You know, like here he is. He's talking about he just lost the title, yet he still has to sell to us that he's going to retain his title at this next show. And it's a case of where he did it, I think, better than anyone could have done. Where he's like, listen, my trainer, my mentor, Homicide, talks to me. He's like, why are you being such a bitch? What happened to the Eddie Kingston that liked hurting people? What happened to the Eddie Kingston that liked pain and misery? And Eddie's like, you know what? You're right. I got to stop being a bitch. The old Eddie Kingston's coming back.
He's so New York. I love everything about this guy. He's so funny. But yeah, it's really great. Yeah, he's like, I just need to do, like, he makes you want to believe, because Eddie Kingston isn't that type of guy that looks the part of a wrestler. Like, I know wrestlers have definitely, like, you know, changed over the years, but he's definitely someone who doesn't look like he would be, you know, be that type of wrestler, especially a Triple Crown champion, you know, but he makes you believe and he makes you want to root for him. And that's a special quality that Eddie Kingston definitely has when he gets a mic in his hand.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised they haven't really, like, on the ROH program showed Mark Briscoe talking about this. Like, that's almost a head scratcher. Once again, this is the show that these guys are putting together ahead of time and giving to us as a pre-recorded program. They can put out everything they want. They, you know what I mean? Like, they can put it together. If you want to grab Mark Briscoe and say, hey, Mark, you know, talk about what you're going to do to Eddie Kingston, they can do that. So the fact that we haven't really heard that is a head scratcher, but I'm glad that we got Eddie Kingston telling his own story in this way, where he's saying that, listen, I got to bring back the old Eddie Kingston. I got to hurt you. And you know what? I'm bringing my best. And if you don't bring your best, the Lord won't be able to stop me. Heaven help what comes for you. You know, it's, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this match, because I know what they're going to do. They're going to start it off slow, because they're friends, they're brothers. He called him Chicken the whole fucking time, you know, a fun nickname. So these guys are brothers, and also he's doing it for his brother, right? They both are. So they're gonna start slow, they're gonna start respectful, and then Eddie's gonna get pissed off, and he's gonna say, "Are you holding back?" He's gonna smack him in the face. He might snuff him, might scuff his Timbs up, and then they're both just gonna fucking wail on each other. These men are going to pound the living shit out of each other and then one of them will win. I believe it will be Eddie, but one of them will win, and no matter who wins, they will both hug. Eddie, as much as he says, I got to stop being a bitch, will probably be crying after winning, just like he was crying after losing on Wednesday. Yes.
And then they kiss?
I don't know about that. Actually,
He's going to kiss him. I could give him a good kiss on the cheek. On the hand.
He'd be grabbing his hand, bowing, and then he would grab it and give it a gentleman's kiss.
He's going to give him a kiss on the cheek. There's going to be a kiss.
Nah, maybe the forehead.
Kiss. They're gonna kiss.
But listen, I'm happy that our Ring of Honor champion is on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy he's talking about his belt again. It's one of those things where I'm wondering what happens after Supercard of Honor. Because once again, this is a case where Eddie randomly shows up. No one called him out. Nobody who's been racking up wins has been saying, hey, where's my title? I'm ready for a shot. Eddie Kingston said, hey, I'm picking my opponent for Supercard of Honor. And who am I picking? It's not going to be any one of the guys who's been on the fucking show every week getting win after win after win. No, I'm going to pick who I think deserves it. And this is going to be a guy who was in Ring of Honor years ago. So, you know, if Supercard of Honor happens, and then the next Ring of Honor show, Eddie Kingston's on the show, cutting a promo, watching someone's match, having his own, then I'll be hopeful for what could be in store for the Ring of Honor championship.
Imagine becoming a champion and then not having to wrestle.
Like, well, I mean, that's well, once again, that's what we're saying. Like, he's wrestled, he lost his title this Wednesday.
Yeah, but can you wrestle on your own show?
He's with AEW, who has 4 shows, and if they put him on show A, they're not putting him on show D, and that's what's silly. Because it's like, okay, then don't put the champions of show D on show B. Like,
give Lee Johnson the title. Give Ethan Page the title. Give, I don't know, who else is on the show? Give anyway.
I didn't mean that to come off as disrespectful to Big Shiny Lee. I thought that would be funny.
Oh no, I wasn't being disrespectful either. I was just saying, like, you know, give Dalton the championship.
No. One thing, though, but at this point, 2 weeks away from Supercard of Honor, this is where it's not just annoying and head scratching. At this point, I'm pissed. Where the fuck is Kyle Fletcher? Where is Ethan Page? Why is the TV title no longer being mentioned? What happened?
Because that should have been a step. Ethan Page should have been having a match every single week leading up to this point.
Ethan Page was setting up. He was setting
for having a match with Supercard
himself, and where'd it go?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know if I know. Like I said, for a while we had read that Kyle Fletcher had visa issues, and that was why he wasn't on.
Yeah, but Ethan Page doesn't.
But then Kyle Fletcher returned to AEW television, so that's obviously not the case anymore. He just hasn't come back to ROH TV, despite the fact that he's got the ROH belts. We haven't seen our ROH tag team champions in close to a month now.
Which is weird, because if you're setting up for Supercard, don't you want championships on the card?
We haven't seen our Ring of Honor trios champions on Ring of Honor. Like,
who the fuck are they?
I mean, and listen,
who is it? I can't remember.
AEW. It's Jay White and the Gun Club.
Oh my goodness gracious! Of course it is.
I mean, they recently turned on the Scissor Squad, so. Listen, I can easily see them giving us a match where they either like unify or whatever the trios titles. They might put that on Supercard of Honor. Who knows? But that story's not being told on Ring of Honor television, and that is my point.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I want to see people.
Like if they made like Collision or Rampage, either one, kind of like, and I know that AEW and ROH is a hybrid thing. Like that, you know, Anna Jay is mostly an AEW superstar. We see her on Ring of Honor tonight. Like these, you know,
they
the
canoodle.
Rosters, 100% they canoodle. I get it, but I almost feel like then why don't you say Collision is an AEW ROH product,
right?
Maybe, or Rampage, or like both of them. Like I just feel like, because it does kind of feel like everything that happens on Thursday nights is in its own world. It doesn't really carry over. The Infantry got a big win in the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament,
right?
And now, conspicuous by their absence, you know, we haven't seen the Outrunners for a minute. So it's one of those things where these are people that were getting built up. If AEW gets their claws in them, do they just disappear? It's not like NXT where they almost would write someone off, give them their farewell story, and then they'd move to the main roster. With ROH, I feel like you're just on ROH until you move to AEW. Right. And then your story gets told elsewhere.
So wild.
But see, we were talking so positively, and now we got negative. So maybe
we want better. Do better. We just want better.
Like I said, it's Supercard of Honor. There's no we shouldn't be wondering where our champions are, especially since they're probably, I assume most of them will have matches at Supercard of Honor. They will be defending those championships. But this is the problem. Like a lot of times AEW will they'll put these matches together randomly, like maybe this weekend. Twitter, they'll just announce this match for Supercard of Honor. Or maybe next week, or maybe tomorrow night on Rampage or Saturday Collision, somebody will make a challenge and it'll just happen. You know, this is Ring of Honor titles are defended on AEW television, so stories get told there as well. So it's just one of those things where, do I need to watch Ring of Honor on Thursday to actually be prepared for Supercard of Honor, or could I just tune in blindly? It seems like I could tune in blindly.
Right.
And I don't think that should become the norm. That's all I'm saying. Give me my champions. Give me my stories. Set me up for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you as always for tuning in with your boy and your girl for Mark of Honor, the best Ring of Honor post show there is. Once again, go to slamchats.com. Your donations, keep BodySlam.net, cranking those pods out. Support everyone on the network. Support us at the Heel Marks everywhere. You can catch us everywhere at the Heel Marks. Guys, you are the best. We are just trying to be like you. Don't forget, we're not just smart marks. We're heel marks.